Hey everyone, we are back for another week of exciting rehearsals. This week, it is time to catch up on all of the news we've been missing with some newsmakers. We will also find out what made Sam say.
And it is going to feature 300 drones, which are going to fly above the sky and make basically drill shapes.
And why Nicole said.
At least 3 times, because I'm just like, ugh, the hair doesn't move. And neither does catch tape.
All this and more. So get out on the field and we will see you back on the sidelines for this week's episode of On a Water Break.
8 off the mat and go.
Welcome to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk everything marching arts.
Everyone, bring it in. It's time for a water break.
Welcome to another episode of Season 2 of On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk about everything you and your friends are talking about at rehearsal on a water break. I'm Jackie Brown. We thought we would take this episode and catch up on some of the great news stories that we've been missing for the past few weeks. So, let's jump right to see who's on the sidelines this week. Nicole!
Hello.
Are you the new Trish? Because I feel like you have been in every episode recently.
I have more time on my hands since, I have weeks. And when I say weeks, I mean maybe 2 weeks until, marching band shows start for me, I think. 2 or 3 weeks, something like that.
The calm before the storm.
Oh, yes.
Well, at least this one should not go past your bedtime since it's our daytime crew.
Okay. And I know that it is also, we got to get you to a nap.
I do. I need a nap. This pregnant lady thing is just not, it's not conducive for staying awake all day.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, let's jump over to our guest clinicians. Our first guest clinician, of course, is no stranger to this podcast. It's social media extraordinaire. And might I say, his social media has been absolutely blowing up lately. Sam Moeller, how's it going?
Great. Thank you so much for having me back. It's good to see you.
So can you give our listeners a quick little 16 count to remind them who you are and what you've been up to? Because seriously, I seriously feel like you are the first thing on my social media timeline every time I log in.
Did my time start, or is it not going to click?
It's not going to click. I'm just saying,
okay.
What have you been up to?
Yes. So, just long story is, or I'm going to try and keep it short, but everything I do, I started at the University of Missouri, where I started as a photographer, and I kept doing more and more things, and now I'm the director of all of the media presence at Marching Mizzou. Since Mizzou, I worked for WGI, Levoot Performance Ensemble, the Blue Knights, and then most recently, in the 2024 season, I was the photographer for Santa Clara Vanguard in their comeback year, and I also, I guess somewhat infamously ran their TikTok presence. So that is what I have been up to.
I love that you say infamously. Seriously though, guys, if you have not seen the Santa Clara social media and all the photos and everything that Sam's been doing, that is some hot shots. I tell you what.
Right? It's very, very good. I'm like, ooh, I wish that you were around when I was marching so I could have those action shots. Just.
But yeah.
Also, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but also Sam, I used to teach Sam at the Colts.
Oh my gosh, no way.
Yeah.
That is correct.
That's when I went away from teaching guard and went towards teaching the Hornline members movement. Yeah.
That is right. My one summer that I marched on the field. Yeah.
I love that you guys that like it's such a small world, and like you went to Mizzou and I'm a Mizzou alum and like all this stuff. It's just it's so great. It's so great that we have all these connections. So we have left our next guest clinician on the sideline long enough. I would like to introduce you all to Jesus Vasquez. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. But you may know him a little bit more from TikTok as Chewy. who is a phenomenal color guard drag queen. Oh my gosh. Seriously. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. Thanks for having me. I'm pretty tired right now. I'm in San Francisco on a work trip, but yeah, I'm getting through it nicely. I'm with my boyfriend. So he's a tattoo artist. I'm his assistant right now. Yeah.
I will tell you, watching I can never watch it once. I always watch all your videos.
Thank you. Yeah, it took me a while to figure it out, but it's YouTube University, to teach you everything you need to know.
Okay.
Well, let's get a little bit more of your background by doing one of our traditions here on the podcast, the 32 count life story. So basically what we'll do is we're going to run a metronome, and you just have 32 counts to tell us everything that's happened in your life from birth until now. But you can focus on the marching arts related ones. So
Okay.
Where do you come from? How you got involved with color guard, how you learned all that good stuff. Sound good?
Okay, perfect.
Okay,
Only in
we'll
English.
give you the metronome.
Okay, perfect. So I'm from San Diego. I started in Hilltop High School. I started my junior year, and then I just continued afterwards with Vox Artium from 2015 to 17. And then I did Blue Stars 2017. That was my workout year. So I saved all my money. I just wanted to do it. I knew I had to do it at least one time. And yeah, now I think I got stuck with a Michael Shapiro twirls, so you can see those kind of on the videos that I do. I started doing drag on my birthday this year.
Ooh.
And then yeah, I don't know why I thought to combine them, but yeah.
Well, there's so many awesome like drag queens that come from our activity, or like there's so much crossover that happens, and there's just like
Latrice Royale.
Yes, of course, Latrice and Rhea Latre. and like there's so many good ones that just like they bring out both sides in such like an excellent manner. So your TikToks get shared seriously in our On a Water Break group chat every week. We're just like, oh hey, here Chewy came out with another one.
Yeah. I mean, I know I said that I don't know where the idea came to combine them, but yeah, you're right. I remember seeing Latrice Royale like doing color guard in RuPaul's Drag Race for sure, and she's also a Blue Stars alumni. So I always
knew it was a drum corps. I just wasn't sure what drum corps it was. Okay.
They still talk about her.
Of course.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh. It's like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Well, we are less than 6 degrees of Latrice Royale.
I believe Latrice Royale actually visited this summer. Is that correct?
Oh, really? No, I didn't know.
I think Latrice stopped by for at least a block.
Well, she wasn't there at the alumni band. Alumni corps. I'm just saying. So.
Well, she messaged me actually. She commented on one of the videos, and she's like, "Oh, we need to work together. I have some ideas." So
yes! Oh my gosh. How amazing would that be? Like a full-on Blue Stars alumni drag color guard show.
Yeah. It was kind of like full circle because I remember I watched an episode of RuPaul's Drag Race with my students. It was like close to final, so we always get together and watch something. And it happened to be the episode where she did color guard. Well, we had no idea she was going to do that. So it was pretty crazy that she actually messaged me.
That's fun. That is so much fun.
So everyone be on the lookout for that to come. Right.
I just wanted to jump in and say, because first of all, you always pick a very good place to spin. So like wherever that, parking lot thing is, but you always pick a really good place to spin, and whoever is videoing you knows how far to like get close to you and get away from you.
Yeah, that's my boyfriend. So,
okay. Did your boyfriend spin too?
No, he didn't.
Oh, okay.
But we just help each other. I film for him when he tattoos. He films for me when I do drag in color guard. So it works out for us. And then that space is just in my college. I go to UCI, so I just went all the way to the top. What I want to do, though, since we're going to be traveling so much, because he's a traveling tattoo artist, I want to go to landmarks in each city.
Yes.
And spin on the landmark and drag. Oh, my goodness.
Like I'm totally picturing this, like under the arch, in front of the bean, at the Statue of Liberty. Can your boyfriend also fly a drone?
Oh, maybe that's the next investment.
I'm just saying, anybody can learn. If I can learn, anybody can learn.
So what's the process like for making your videos?
It's a long process. Like it takes me, it shortens by 5 minutes every time I do it. Like my makeup skills, because I've never done it before. I've always wanted to. Since I started watching RuPaul's Drag Race, I was like a sophomore in high school. I'm 28 now, so that's like almost like 15 years later. And then this last episode, there was Morphine who appeared on the show, and she really inspired me to just start it, as well as my boyfriend, because he was always telling me like, oh, you should do it. Like you can do these kind of dances too, you know? So I just started doing makeup, and it takes me like 3 to 4 hours to get in drag, and then coming up with the choreography, filming. And I mean, what you see on the video is like the last take. Takes maybe like 30 to 40. Yeah. So it's a whole day process to do the videos.
Do you like pick the music first, or you pick the equipment first? Like, where is it?
So what my idea at first, it was to just do Saber. I want to concentrate on Saber just to kind of create a stamp or a signature so people recognize that it's me. And also, it looks really cool. I feel like when you think of color guard, I mean, growing up in high school, I didn't get bullied for it, but I wasn't acclaimed for being in color guard. It was seen as like, oh, like nerd, kind of like band gigs, you know, outside of.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we've always experienced those kind of comments. Same thing with drag. When I was in high school, it was really taboo. Like, I felt uncomfortable even watching the show because of where I came from, my family, you know. So I think combining them and using music that is trending and looking sharp and nice in heels, I feel like I would want to allow people that don't even know guard or drag to look at it and be like, oh, that's cool, that's hip, that's new, you know.
It's entertaining.
Entertaining, exactly.
It's very entertaining.
Oh,
I like it.
So some of what you're doing kind of reminds me of how like Sam started his social media career, as far as like having this plan and stuff. What are you thinking about all this, Sam?
It's always super interesting to hear what other people are doing on TikTok, because I feel like with what we do with performing arts and the pageantry arts, there's just so many opportunities to do something interesting and something new. This isn't something I knew about. I'm not super on TikTok. Like I think I got pretty, into it with like posting things for brands and stuff like that, but I don't scroll a ton. So this is the first time hearing about this, and this is just super interesting. I'm curious, like, if you have plans to do anything else with this. Like, is this something you just, you're doing for fun, or is this something, you want to take further?
I think it's both. Like, it's really fun. It doesn't feel, although it takes the whole day to get ready for it, it feels really fun. Like, I don't feel like it's a job or like I'm working too hard on it. I get a bunch of bruises and my hair feels like all tied up and I have a headache at the end of it. But it's really fun to just do it and get the outcome, of the videos looking really cool. And sometimes I forget that it's me. I'm like, wow, I have hips. And apart from it being fun, I do have kind of like a personal plan. I'm starting a clothing brand as well. So I'm working with local artists who work with canvas. We create a story, they create the artwork, and I design a line inspired by their artwork. I would want to grow the brand organically, so I think eventually I would wear my own clothes in drag. That's more personal. And then, of course, I just want to, like I said, make color guard and drag, for lack of better words, cool, mainstream, more fun.
Like a household thing.
Yeah. Like we know about soccer not because we played it, because it's on TV. You wouldn't know about color guard unless you did it, right? Or if you know someone that did it. So
I love that how people are trying to, and I mean, like, I think we've been trying to do it for a really long time. I know that when we saw Color Guard on like Glee, we were like, oh, I was really excited about that. And I think I don't remember who they used, but or when we saw Color Guard on during the Super Bowl with Lady Gaga, we were,
Oh my gosh, my phone blew up that night.
yeah. But I love that though. Like I feel like it does need to be shared with the masses. And honestly, this is a good way to be noticed the way that you're doing it. What is your handle on TikTok, by the way?
Oh, it's Chewy Vasbo. I'm thinking of changing it, but yeah, that's just my Instagram that I've had for forever because it's my boy name, Chewy, Chuy, and then my last name is Vasquez Bohorquez, so VAZ and then BO, Chewy Vasbo.
Okay.
For now.
I was gonna say, I don't even have you on Instagram yet. It's literally just been nothing but TikTok.
My drag name on Instagram is La Chewy, like LA and then CHEWY.
Mm-hmm. So I was just reading this other thing too, like the Try Guys. Everyone, they actually went through Vox to do their Try Guy thing, and
I saw that. I'm like, wow. When I'm not there, and their team,
right?
They were so good though. I was so impressed with them. But I feel like this is the best way to do it. Like, use social media to get that out to other people and to other.
Like Vox has a good handle on that. I feel like Vox has a really good handle on the let's do good color guard and have good technique and good performances and good shows that do score well competitively, but also are entertaining and like can appeal to the masses, and people who don't even get color guard and they don't watch color guard regularly, they can still get it. I feel like Vox does a really good job of like bridging that gap.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think, that's where I get all my inspirations from. I started at Vox and then Blue Stars. It's just all these amazing people just kind of molded me, to be able to do this now. And the whole thing with social media, when I was in high school, this would never be able to happen. Yeah, and just
who were some of your instructors?
My instructor for Vox, it was Benjamin Contreras and then Sarah Abdullah. And I worked also for Coronado. They came out for like 2 or 3 years. It was like we were trying to do an extension of Corona Independent because Michael did Corona. So he wrote the drill for us. It was Greg Humphrey and a couple other people that marched Corona. Yeah, so that was my involvement. And of course, Michael Shapiro.
Of course. Love Michael Shapiro. Literally got to see him like once while I was up there with the Blue Stars, and like it was just kind of like, okay, hi, okay, bye. But yeah, he's such an innovator, and like so many things come out of those programs that just, like I said, bridge the gap and make things entertaining. So speaking of integrating, we need to work on integrating those new sets with the music. So we'll be right back to get caught up on all the news stories from the marching arts world.
Hey, this is Christine Ream.
And Chris Green.
Guard Closet was founded as a consignment business in 2000. Since then, it has grown to include winter guard, band, percussion, and other genres.
We can help you with custom flag and costuming designs.
Our consignment inventory has plenty of great looks for your color guard, drumline, and marching band.
Pay it forward. When you purchase consignment, you help other programs. Last year, we sold over 400 sets of consignments and returned over $125,000 in payments to our consigners for their sales.
Additionally, Guard Closet offers custom and pre-designed costumes, flags, floors, and formal wear, full or partial show writing, educational programming, and other services.
Max out your rehearsal time and set up a microsite for easy student ordering for shoes, gloves, and other equipment.
The Guard Closet team is here to help you get everything you want and need for your season. Check us out at guardcloset.com and follow us on social media.
are back. Grab your water bottles and gather around the sideline. We have got a lot of news stories to jump into and get you guys all caught up on. Nicole, let's start with yours.
So this just in, but it wasn't just in. It was like last week. But at the DNC, there was a drumline that performed. And I think everybody wanted to know a little bit more about them and, you know, who they are and what it is that they do. But they are performers, basically. I mean, come on. If you saw them at the DNC, they were fantastic. Okay. The pack has done a couple of different things. They first, I guess you could say, like, got their start on season 17 of America's Got Talent. And then they did Super Bowl 2023. Let's see. They also are the official drumline for the Chicago Sky, which is a WNBA team. They are also the Chicago Bulls. Yeah. They are also the Chicago Bulls drumline, Chicago Blackhawks. And they've done other things like perform for like promotional things for like McDonald's, Red Bull, Coca-Cola, and NASCAR. They've been around.
So we've probably seen them somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure you have because of all of those things. And then when you go to their website, it just shows them performing all over the place and on stage. So it's a good time. I'm loving seeing. This is something else too. Like, how Chewy was like, oh yeah, I'm just trying to get that color guard, name out and let everyone know about it. And this is another way of getting, drumline, any kind of marching arts out there and letting everyone know about it as well. So that was great. I'm so happy they were able to perform at the DNC. They were fun.
Do you know, is it like a paid gig? Like, are these performers like professional paid to do all these gigs?
I think they are. I think there's only a couple of them. And it's almost like when they're on stage, it's almost like a stomp. Have you ever seen Stomp?
I love Stomp. I just showed that to my toddler recently.
So it's like a Stomp thing, so it's, very high energy and it looks like they get big crowds everywhere they go. So I guess that was pretty much the whole thought process behind having them at the DNC. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 when they just do the drum line, but when they're on stage, it looks like that doubles. But yeah. So that's the drum line that was there.
Well, how do we find out about them if people are interested in like auditioning for their programs or just learning when they perform and stuff like that?
You can always go to their website. It's packdrumline.com. They've got videos up. There's a contact us. So if there's ever if there's ever an event you want them to come and do, or if you want to ask about auditioning to be in their group, that's where you would do it.
I wonder if they would come play my toddler's 3-year-old birthday party.
Your kid? So ape.
He would lose it. He wouldn't even want to watch. He would want to perform with them is the thing.
Like go grab his little like plastic snare drum.
His little Fisher-Price drum and just No, he wouldn't care. He'd be like, give me your sticks. I'm gonna play whatever you got there.
Mm-hmm.
This next news story from Sam, hopefully everybody has seen this already. I feel like it has made the rounds. Why don't you tell us about this?
Yeah, so the New York Times this past week, or how long ago was finals? 17 days ago. It feels like it was 2 days ago. So this article was called A 12-Minute Show Played Only Once Just Might Live Forever. And it says, every summer, hundreds of college-age musicians spend countless hours and their own money pursuing a single goal, the Drum Corps World Championship. And this is kind of an article that was it talks about drum corps and what that encompasses as a whole, but it's mostly of like 90% a story on the Bluecoats. It goes super in depth on their show. One quote that I really liked from this that I pulled was, "The activity is a study in passion or perhaps delusion. It is not easy. It does not make money. It does not clearly translate to a career, and it ends. Groups like the Bluecoats are made up exclusively of participants under the age of 22. And I think that of all the people who have tried to sum up this activity, I think that this is really, from an outsider perspective, I think this is one that's totally worth checking out. I have one other thing as a photographer that I have to mention, which is that the photos for this article were done by John Cherry, who is actually a Pulitzer Prize winner. And that's a really cool thing to have, New York Times Pulitzer Prize winning esque coverage of the Bluecoats and of this activity. I think that's a really big deal, and it's something that I think we should continue to support.
So, Chewy, have you gotten any feedback like that, like from outside of the color guard world about your videos?
Yeah, some comments do. Like some people just kind of maybe randomly run into it, and they're like, "I don't know what this is. I don't know what you're doing, but it's cool." And I'm like, "Welcome to the color guard drag Charlie XCX world."
You don't know what it is? Okay, thank you.
But I'm here for it.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I like making it more accessible. This is what I feel like this is what the what's the word? This is the episode of being visible, making the activity visible, making it, not just digestible for everyone in our activity, but for people outside of the activity as well. So yes, I all of that love.
Yeah, and I just feel like almost like a calling to do it, just because I stopped doing it right after COVID, like 2020 during the pandemic. I was teaching at 3 high schools at that point, and everything just stopped, right? I was never a good student, so I was like, this is a good time for me to go back to school. So I just graduated from UCI, actually, from Irvine. And thank you. I didn't. The whole time that I wasn't doing it, every single day, it's in my head. I'm just making choreography to music, and I think that was for a reason, right? Like I can't stop moving my hands.
Yeah.
After 4 years, so then to reach a point where I'm finally able to do it with the platform to reach more people, it feels pretty good.
Awesome. Well, I am going to go ahead and jump to the next, I guess you could say, news story. I think some people have seen this. If you haven't, I know that it's been on all of the different socials, and it's about the Academy. So I don't know if you all know this, but I spent some time with the Academy this summer, and it was my let's go back to teaching moment. I really, really enjoyed myself. Also to the executive director, Mark Richardson. He had been at Academy, I want to say 25 years. And this past summer was his last year. And so right now, Academy is looking for a new executive director. If you think that this is something you may want to do, I say go ahead and turn your resume in. So if this is something that you are interested in and you want to fill some big shoes, because these are big shoes, Mark did a lot. And he was also there for a long time as well. But your resume can be sent to Rich Frazier. He's the board of directors president for the Academy. The email is rfraiz, as in zebra, at arizonaacademy.org.
And that's interesting to see, because even in the smaller levels, like in high school, it's always like that. They're so secretive about openings too, where even when I have a friend who has a opportunity, they're like, well, I can't tell you which school yet. I'm like, why?
Oh, trying to like gatekeep a little bit from
yeah, I guess it maybe it makes sense, right? Like you don't want someone to come in and maybe take your job or something like that, your opportunity. But I think this is pretty fair to have it open and be like, we're accepting applicants, you know. But it's interesting to see because you don't see it often.
Mm-hmm.
I know of a very exclusive opportunity that another band gets to participate in. Anybody who knows me knows how much I love the Macy's Parade. And Temple University from Philadelphia just announced that they have been chosen to march in next year's Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. So the Temple University Diamond Marching Band. Congratulations, guys. And they're going to be in the 2025. I have all my years mixed up. I'm blaming pregnancy brain. They're going to be there for 2025, so I will be back whenever you guys are there. So I will find you, Temple University, and take pictures with you.
I still want to go and do be a I don't know, chaperone, because we were talking about that last year.
Oh,
yeah,
you should.
Boost. I want to do it.
Yes.
I want to go.
You should. It's such an amazing experience to go. And there's so many more opportunities now to get involved with the Macy's Parade, between not just the Macy's band and your own school band going, because your school band going is such a selective process. And then the Macy's band is becoming more and more selective every year. I swear they fill up faster every single year. But now they have the band director's marching band. So I'm kind of that was really cool to see last year. And I can't wait to see what they continue to do with that in the future. And speaking of new marching bands being launched, Calvin University, which is in Western Michigan, is going to be having their very first marching band. And I didn't even realize this when I was going through stories, but I feel like Spintronics has had a part in growing the marching band culture, because we do clinics in Western Michigan, and we've been doing clinics in Western Michigan for the last 5 or 6 years. It's been a while. We go up to West Ottawa High School, and so the band director is going to be Dr. Steve Suduth. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Suduth. He's been teaching marching bands for 25 years, and he's really, really excited about getting to start this new marching band from the ground up. He's also going to be assisted by Dr. Tiffany Engel, who is the associate professor, co-chair of the visual and performing arts, and the director of instrumental studies at the university. And yeah, they're looking at going from 60 to 80 members within the first 3 years of the program. So they're just planning on growing that up. Well, have you guys ever been a part of a new band program like that?
Well, when back in the day, not the whole band program, but UD, because for a very long time, they only had their dancers. I was there the first year that they did color guard, and it was interesting. It always is. You're not having to teach everyone how to do, the basics, but they have to learn how to do everything the same way, which is,
right.
Not as hard, but at the same time, it's just let me help you unlearn some things. But honestly, I feel like it would be one of the best ways to start a program, honestly, in college, because I don't know, everything's going to be new band room, new instruments, new equipment, new uniforms, and
oh man,
new car smell, period.
Yes.
Everything.
I haven't started a new program, but I was the first male member of the University of Missouri Winter Guard, which was also their first year of existence. And it's been really fun to, that was in 2018. So as someone who's on staff now, it's just been really fun to kind of from a member perspective, help grow that program. and then now be the one doing the marketing for that program. That's been a super rewarding experience. So I've never really started something as a director, but I've been a student of something new and then tried to switch over to the staff side of things and see, what I can do to keep pushing that program forward. And it's just been a really cool experience to see that grow.
Yeah, I'm so proud of Mizzou because I don't know how much they teach you about the history, but I was actually there the last year that they had a winter guard in 2005.
I didn't know that.
So that was, yes, yeah. And so that was like a long time ago. And I remember seeing them when I was in high school competing and being like, oh, I want to be on that guard. And but really that was the last year that they had a winter guard. They really did a lot to like sort of phase everything out. They had this idea of going a different direction, and just watching the group now like grow has been it's near and dear to my heart because that's my again, alumni.
We started with when I was in marching band at Mizzou 10 years ago in the fall guard, I think we had about 10 people, and we're up to 40 now. So that's over the course of 10 years, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love seeing the growth of that. Well, Calvin University wants to invite all of their students, alumni, and the whole community to support this exciting new chapter because they are really planning on going and just running with it. So I'm excited about that. Yeah, I can't wait to see what they do with this program. Sam, do you want to give us your next story?
Yeah, so something that has been a pretty big deal in especially the composer community and in kind of like music academia world is Finale. So if you're not familiar with Finale, it's a music notation software, essentially like writing out the notes to the music on, rather than on a piece of paper on a computer screen. And that's something that's been around since 1988. So it's a pretty big deal that a few days ago, Finale announced, actually, I pulled something from the notes because this is the part that people are pretty upset about, which is that beginning in August 2025, it will not be possible to authorize Finale on any new devices. And that's something that's really interesting because a lot of people have used that over the years. I know when I was a band director, that's what I used to arrange all of my music. I'm sure there are a lot of people that still swear by Finale. And so they're kind of saying that, a year from now, if you buy a new computer or switch devices, even though you have paid for this software, you will not be able to access it anymore. And it just reminds me of the days when I was very little and you bought Photoshop or you bought a software on a CD and you could, unless you lost it or broke it, it was yours. You owned it. And so it's just very interesting that this is something they can pull from under the rug. Like, we're shutting it down and we're taking it with us.
It's insane.
Well, here's the thing, is that I had no idea what was actually happening. But in my feed, man, I stay on social media too much. But on my feed, everyone kept saying, blah, 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 something Finale. Or, laughing at the people who had Finale. And I'm like, what the heck are they talking about? What was it? What's the name of the other the other program?
There's also Sibelius. And then there's MuseScore.
And so many people are like, I started using Sibelius years ago. Everybody else should have. And I'm just like, who are these people? Because right now it just sounds like, I don't know.
It sounds like a turf war or something. It's like,
yes.
You know what I mean? Because I've always sworn by Finale, and it's always been like, I always bring that up, and I used to like get mocked or made fun of or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I use Finale for my school assignments, and people are like, why would you do that?
You know what? I think that Sibelius and Finale is equivalent to pole hits.
Except for now, one of them just doesn't exist anymore.
Right. But that's the whole urban legend of it all. It's just like, well, if you were around
did they say anything about why? Because it seems like it just literally came out of nowhere. It was like thin air. Hello. Okay, now Finale's gone.
I've read the press release on their website, and it wasn't super clear. I mean, it just said, they didn't believe that Finale was the path forward for music notation, and that at this point, any updates weren't going to be substantial, which is really interesting because the other one we mentioned, Sibelius, and then there's another one, Dorico, have kind of been a little better about updating. Versus Finale hasn't changed as much over the years from what I've gathered. I haven't used this stuff in a while. There's not really a clear explanation as to why it would just stop.
Well, they said they've been in business for like 35 years. So I don't know. Maybe it's the owner who wants. I mean, I'm just speculating.
But why would they not sell or have a merger or something? You know what I mean? Like, why would it just disappear?
I don't know.
It's strange.
Other interesting thing about that is they own the company that owns Finale Make Music also owns Smart Music. Smart Music is kind of the thing that I know, at least when I did drum corps, things may have changed since then. That was where we did all of our assignments. Like, they were literally called, they were like, hey, turn in your Smart Music assignments. And I'm curious if this is, if this company's just in trouble, or what's going to happen to the other, sort of like affiliate
maybe
programs.
They're just putting their resources into Smart Music because that's the way it's going.
Wow.
That I did not know that. That makes sense, though.
Well, a lot of people are going to be learning something new.
Well,
they are.
Goodbye, Finale.
They don't have a choice.
The finale of when we'll see you. Well, the Sabres have absolutely been begging for us to have a clinic with Chewy. So we're going to go do that, and then we'll be back on the sidelines in just a minute.
Hey everyone, it's Jeremy, and here are your announcements coming from the box. Don't miss all of our bonus content, including On a Water Break in Rhinestones with your host Lexi Duda, exploring the world of the Twirlers. Don't miss Parades and Drum Majors at Step Off with your host Jack Goudreau, and get lost in translation with your host Cynthia Bernard, exploring all the words that confuse all of us in the marching arts all across the world. And go behind the lens with marching arts photographers all across the country with your host, Chris Marr. Plenty more bonus content from On a Water Break, so listen anywhere you get your podcasts. If you want to be on a Water Break as a guest, or you know somebody that would make a great guest for On a Water Break, email us at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com. Or find us on social media. Okay, field staff, take it away.
Let's reset.
All right, we are back. Sabres, make sure you get your water bottles. I saw what Chewy had you doing over there. That was crazy. You won't catch me rolling on the ground like that, man. It is time for What Are We Doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Nicole, you look like you want to start us off today.
Do I? I need to that is not the place I wanted to convey. But I did have to think about this for a minute, and I think I came up with something. It is, at least by the way that we're putting this together, we are recording on August 27th. What are we doing still looking for flags? What are we doing still looking for, like, our closer flags and things like that right now?
This could have been mine. I'm just saying.
Oh, really? I'm just saying, like, those things need to be in. You need to have thought about that yesterday. Just know that if you don't have those things already taken care of right now, you may not have it for your first show. And if you're going all the way to the end of your show and the first show, good. Okay? I guess
where should people buy their new flags if they still need flags? Who should they call, Nicole?
Well, you can always call the guard closet. Or you can email me, Nicole@guardcloset.com.
Yeah, seriously though, like every day, I swear I get on there and people are like, I need new closer flags or whatever, and they're like messaging me and they're like, can you split this set or can you make these custom flags in less than 6 weeks or something? And like, there's a 6 week. That's how long it takes.
Wait, what's your involvement with the Guard Closet, Nicole and Jackie?
We both work.
What's
We
your-
both
what's
work
your
for Guard
involvement?
Closet. Yeah,
You what? Sorry.
we both
We're
work
both
for Guard Closet.
Guard Closet.
No way.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been using this since I was like graduated high school, like started teaching. So
Well, thank you.
See, it works, people. It works if you work it.
I can't believe I met you guys.
It's a small world. I tell you what,
Man,
I get that
man.
all the time. People are always like I email, like I do my customer service emails, and I'll respond, and people are like, "Wait, you're Jackie Brown? Are you the same Jackie Brown from like Spintron?" Like, yes, that's me. I'm Spintronics Jackie Brown. Also, it's small
You
world.
want your autograph, a picture?
Just start emailing headshots. Oh gosh, but yeah, seriously, like it takes. Oh, get your stuff in, guys. Everything consignment at Guard Closet is in stock and ships immediately. If you want new flags, if you want made to order flags, it's gonna take 4 weeks to get them made. So that's
You
what
gotta
we're at right now.
call today.
Yep.
That's the thing.
Yep. Sam, what are we doing?
All right. This is one that, as someone who it's my job to think about how a marching band or a marching arts group presents itself online. Keep in mind that drum corps and marching band does not put commercials on the television. So like social media is our first and foremost the way that we market ourselves. Something that bothers me, and I'm sure this bothers a lot of people, but they probably haven't thought about why, is that have you noticed that in the off season, like during camps, we're very secretive about things. You can't hear the music. You can't even hear the horn line playing a chord. Like you can't watch the drum line playing a warm up. Those are things that from like August of one year to August of the next year, you don't get to hear on the internet. And that's something that like, there's always a struggle because as a former educator, you want your ensemble to look and sound great online. But one thing that is a big pet peeve of mine is the idea that like your ensemble being perfect, it should not be the enemy of people seeing that your ensemble exists because
Yep.
So like right now I'm doing I'm kind of directing the media presence for Marching Mizzou at Marching Mizzou, if you're curious. And we have this like really cool Drew move where do you remember like Jackie when you talked about Mizzou, it's called Flip Tigers.
Yes, Flip Tigers.
Right.
They've been doing it since like the 70s or something.
Yeah, and so the word Mizzou and the word Tigers, they flip and one goes to the other. And that's something that we already posted online and it wasn't perfect. And that's, in my opinion, that's totally okay because like nobody's expecting your ensemble to be perfect right from the start.
Yep.
And so, in my opinion, when drum corps when they're so scared to show the world what they're working on because they want it to be perfect, like you're just losing to an ensemble 10 points below you who is showing themselves online.
Yep.
In the social media game, at least. So, like, a great example of that is, well, this is also a very, prestigious ensemble, but this summer, the Blue Devils posted warm-ups and things almost every single day. Every time that I scrolled on social media, I could find a video of the Blue Devils horn line warming up or the guard warming up. And those are things that like we're just not necessarily seeing from other groups. And that at least someone there has a phone. So there's, and that's like an intentional, control over what is being seen by the outside world. But the thing is, if you don't post your group, someone else is going to. And so everyone has a phone. Like you can look up these videos online. So you may as well be the first one to do it. That's just kind of my whole say on the matter is that something that really bothers me because it's like if you have a media team, like, you should let them want to show off the ensemble and show them what their improvement or what they're working on. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. So post videos of your group.
Social media presence. You have to be present.
You do. Otherwise, it's not a social media presence if you're not.
They kind of go together.
A lot of times social media is about quantity and not quality.
Absolutely.
And you find that so much.
Yes, TikTok will reward you for posting multiple times a day, even if it's not good. It really will. Like, the more effort you post in this, I think with this summer with Vanguard, the videos that I would like pour my heart and soul into would go unnoticed. And then there's a cell phone clip I took of the drums when it was raining outside and they have trash bags on their drums. That was like 1 million views. It's there's not any rhyme or reason to it. You just have to post things. Like, you just have to show what you're doing.
Oh, that makes me think of, like, okay, Chewy, going back to your TikToks, and you were talking about how long they take to make. Do you save all the other takes and like all the bloopers and stuff?
Yeah, I posted some of the bloopers, and I did like one funny one that was 5 seconds, and that one blew up. It's the same thing. Like, the one that I it took me like an hour to choreograph. It took me like 3 hours to film, like really intricate work, like really handsy. It was like 2,000 views, and then the 10-second one was already like 20,000. It's true. It's just, you never know. And then I think you need to know who your audience is as well, because mostly it's gonna be Gen Z. It's gonna be like younger kids, right? So they want to interact with you in a relatable way. I feel like when it's too perfect, of course they're in awe, but they can't comment like, yeah, I've been there, oh, I've done that, or same, I drop it all the time too, like, yeah. I did the demure thing also. It's just, you kind of have to keep up with the trends a little bit as well.
I saw that one and I was just like, oh, he jumped on it.
But it's embarrassing because I'm like, oh my God, is there anyone watching me right now? and also, like, I don't look perfect. I was like, what I said is like, do you see the lace front? No, you don't. But yes, you did. Like, you see my lace front.
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen that one yet. I have to go look for that one.
That's the one I laughed on most at. He was like, do you see lace front? I'm like, yeah, actually.
Yeah. But it's what Sam is saying. Like, you can't wait until you're perfect. You just have to do it, even if you're not. And eventually you won't see my lace front. But for now, you will.
Well, Chewy, do you have a what are we doing point for today?
Yeah, what are we doing not dressing up when we do color guard videos? I feel like I see way too many people just in their workout clothes, and I feel like we should wear more makeup. We should put on some heels, maybe a wig or two. And
I feel so comfortable right now.
Heels. Oh, honey. No.
No, let me tell you how many pairs I don't feel.
I mean, we all saw Bizarre when it came out, when Onyx did it, and they all wore heels, I spent a majority of the time watching their feet, because I was just like, somebody's gonna bite it pretty soon, because even though they want to seem like they're just walking out, I wear these every day, and I'm
very
like,
demure.
Very demure.
Very mindful.
But it was really interesting and entertaining. And I think when I started, I was worried. I'm like, maybe it's going to look weird or awkward, because heels and drag, and color guard, it's like, I don't see that. You don't see that often. So, but I don't know, it's being well received. And I feel like more people should, like, if you're going to record yourself, if you're going to do choreography to a song, I know we don't all have all the time or money, but just have fun with it, as long as you're having fun. And you can don't think you can't do something just because other people are not doing it. Just do what feels right for you. If you want to dress up, do it. Yeah,
I love it. That's like
Great job, everyone. Set your equipment down. Let's go.
All right, let's do our gush and goes. Nicole, bring it back.
Oh, gush and goes. Oh honestly just want to gush and go about, the season so far set up for me. Even though it's busy, I think a lot of you already know I thrive when I'm busy.
Oh, yeah.
When I don't want to say bored, but because I can still be bored with the 3 things to do. So, but I'm happy to see it, and I'm happy to go to the different places. I think that I picked up a new, I don't know, with marching bands, a new circuit, a new state. So I'm excited to see how that's going to pan out. Yeah. And, working on some other things that I can't really just put it out into the,
You're not atmosphere. Secrets. We just talked about this.
I have to stand by my word. If I don't keep secrets, I'm just a gossip girl.
Sam, what do you want to gush and go on about?
So I wrote down a few. I came prepared. I wrote down a few drum corps that I think are
so great right now.
I wrote down a few drum corps that I think are doing social media or just media in general very well.
Ooh.
So one is, I don't know if any of you saw the Blue Coat show reveal when they posted it. They had this multicam setup that essentially was, right at the end of spring training, right before the show. They had multicam clips of their show. So they had drone shots. They had different camera angles, but it was this really awesome setup that they had done where they had staged everything in uniform on props, clearly just as a teaser for the show itself. And I think that was so cool to not be vague or discreet about it, but show this is what the show looks like and we're wearing it. And this is all in one video. I think that's awesome.
I love that.
I said earlier, the idea of posting a ton of things. I think that Blue Stars, if you're not familiar with Blue Stars on social media, especially their TikTok, they do a really great job of appealing to a younger audience and to kind of a modern social media voice. They're really funny. And that's something that I've always taken into account is I think that they have a huge follower base. High schoolers really look up to Blue Stars online because they're so funny and they're super relatable. I think that's really cool. I don't know how much time I have, but I have 2 more things. One is that if you've ever been to a drum corps show, look at the merch lines and you will see that the Phantom Regiment line is wrapped around the entire stadium. And that's because Phantom Regiment is super awesome about if you see a trend online, you can go to the Phantom Regiment's merch website and they're already going to have a t-shirt with that on it and the Phantom logo. And that's super awesome. And then last thing is something I'm really passionate about is uniform reveals. If you're going to reveal a uniform.
I love uniform reveals.
I think it's so cool when they are themed around the show. There were 2 this summer. So Jersey Surf had their kind of in the, if you saw it, it was in the picture frame with the dove flying out of it. And that was super awesome. And then Jersey Surf had, their show was called Surfadelic. And so they did this whole thing that looked like it was a magazine ad from the 70s. It had it pretended the uniform was for sale. And I just think, it's so fun to be creative with that stuff and kind of do, band isn't that serious. And it's fun to have, take some creative freedom with that and kind of do uniform reveals that are centered around the idea of your show or a prop or something like that.
Or going on trends. We loved to do that at Spintronics, the last several years of our competitions. We did trends of uniform reveals. It would be a transition video or something. And it was so fun.
Chewy, this is a shout out to you then. So you can actually go and get people all glammed up so they can actually do their videos.
Yeah, if anyone needs help with anything, I'm not that great at makeup. I'm okay at dressing up, but we can work together.
Hey, you're only going to get better the more you do it, though.
I will at least teach you how to walk in heels.
We need it.
So, Sam, I heard you're going to be doing a round table with some social media people. Is this happening now?
That is kind of put me on the spot there. That is something that I would love to do when it happens.
Make it happen. Let's make it happen.
Yes.
Let's do it. Let's do it. We'll call some people. Yep.
I can call my people and I can make that happen. I can get you some really interesting social media people.
Let's do it. I love it. I love it. I am going to gush and go about the weather we had for band camp because it was a couple of weeks ago now, but we had a very chill band camp. There was like one hot day and then the rest was not super duper hot. And this pregnant lady was so thankful. I also have to give a shout out to the band director, Sarah Sacco at Ava, because she booked the air-conditioned gym, the incredibly air-conditioned gym for my sectionals for the hottest part of the day, the whole week we were there. So I didn't have to like die on the field as a pregnant lady sweating in the sun. So I just got to gush about that.
Longer until you're due.
6 weeks. And my first one was early, so I wouldn't be surprised if I went into labor tomorrow. I'm just saying.
We will keep our eye on you.
Please do. Whew. And it's hot right now. I'm glad to not have to be out in band camp this week and like last week because it's been sweltering. Oh my gosh. Chewy, what do you want to gush and go on about?
So I guess, I mean, I know I said that I'm not great at makeup or dressing up, but you know what? I am. I'm great at makeup. I'm great at dressing up. I have an amazing style.
I was going to agree with, I agree with you there. I was going to disagree with you earlier when you said you weren't very good at it. You're just not very fast at it.
No, I'm not fast, but
you're good.
I mean, I think I've done it total maybe like 8 times drag. Like fully. So I think it's looking good for 8 times. I think I have a good start. I also want to give props to myself for getting over all of my just negative feelings and emotions and thoughts about drag in general, like growing up and color guard and just being able to spread the art form. And also shout out to like all the kids that are commenting and reposting, not being afraid of it, you know, because right now there's so much like fear mongering around drag and queerness, and I feel like it's my job, it's our duty to normalize it and tell people like we're just doing art. There's nothing else to it, you know.
It's true. Yeah. I appreciate your 4 hours of makeup.
Thank you.
As long as we can just keep seeing it. I mean, you're putting like 2 really good things that I love, Michael Shapiro twirls and drag together.
I'll try to keep as much as I can, as long as I can. And yeah, I'll try to, like I said, keep filming in different cities, different landmarks. Yeah, so you'll see more.
So when you come to Missouri,
it's called Gush and Go, not Gush and Stay. Let's go.
Thank you guys for a great rehearsal this week. Thank you for Nicole joining me as a host. And of course, thank you to our guest clinicians. Sam, do you want to throw your social media out there one more time?
Oh, I'd love to. So I can be found at Smoller Media, and that's at SMOHLER Media. That's on Instagram or TikTok. And then I do want to give a shout out to the brand that I'm currently working with, Marching Mizzou. You can find us at Marching Mizzou. That's MIZZOU. We're doing our first halftime show this week.
Are they going to do Golden Flip Tigers? That would be amazing.
We'll see. We'll find out. We're working with Sky Elements, who are they're semi-finalists on America's Got Talent right now, and they're working with us on this. So it's wow. Especially as a Mizzou alum, you're going to want to check it out.
That's so cool.
Okay. Oh my gosh, yes. My husband's working this weekend, so maybe we need to maybe my toddler and I need to go on a little trip. Chewy, what about your social media? You want to throw that out there?
Yeah, so my TikTok is Chewy, CHUY, and then Vasbo. That's VAZBO, Chewy Vasbo. And then my Instagram is LaChewy, LACHEWY.
Love it. Thank you guys so much for helping us out. One more thing. Don't forget, we have our YouTube channel. So if you want to see all of the craziness that they get up to over here when we're doing interviews on the pod, go watch those full video versions over on YouTube. And make sure you subscribe to our channel as well. But before you close out your podcast listening app, go ahead and subscribe to that. Write us a review and share this with a friend. Follow us on all of our social media at On a Water Break. And we'll see you at the next rehearsal on a water break.
Go practice.
The On a Water Break podcast was produced by Jeremy Williams and Christine Reams. The intro and outro music was produced by Josh Lyda. To learn more, visit lydamusic.com. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.